Good morning. Things are very windy out there right now, so you do want to take your time out there. 2 hands on that steering wheel. That should be every day, but especially today. What we are watching outside of that problem that Jordan had mentioned on the westbound 401 is just volume. Southbound 404 DVP combo, that's busy from the 401 to about south of Lawrence. And yep, it's just volume heading in towards downtown. Same goes for the eastbound Gardner, which is now pretty much filled in from Islington in the Express over to about Dufferin. So quite the slow go on our major routes this morning for the most part. But I also find that the westbound Gardner, of course, is moving at the limit along with the westbound QEW. And just an area that we can't see over on the southbound 410. Things are also relatively moving at the limit, but we are looking at delays right now from south of Mayfield down to about Bavair. Heading off our major routes, we do still have that closure of Eglinton. That's closed in both directions from Bicknell to Kiel, and that is for some fire cleanup. That's a look at your traffic. Now let's take a look at that forecast.
Let's look at those winds you were mentioning out there, about the winds. And indeed, it starts off windy this morning. We have winds currently right now southeasterlies at about 30 kilometers per hour. Check on some of the wind gusts. They've been as strong as 50, but we can see them as strong as 60 kilometers per hour. This is just the beginning of what we're going to see on a day where we're in store for some wet weather. Let's talk about that. Here's a look at your morning. So we're dry through the morning hours, and really it doesn't look like we'll see showers develop as we get into the afternoon. About 1:30, you start to see some rain, and rain heavier at times up through our friends in Bracebridge, into Muskoka, down through the Barrie area. Toronto looks like will remain dry up until about that evening commute. Let's look at about 5 o'clock, where we have even the risk of some thunderstorms over through Waterloo and Hamilton. It's into Toronto at about 6 to 7 o'clock. So during that evening commute, soggy, heavy rain and as well winds, stormy conditions continuing into the early morning hours of Friday. Then as we head our way through the day on Friday, we'll start to clear those skies out. Now, temperatures for today are going to be about 12, but that temperature continues to rise through the overnight. By the time we get to tomorrow morning, we're going to start at 14, and then temperatures falling to 10 through the afternoon. But once again, we're going to see skies clear. Still a little bit breezy tomorrow. Winds out of the west, 30 to 50. Saturday looks super. It's going to be clear. There's going to be daytime highs of 16, and winds fairly light out of the northwest. Let's look at your forecast.
We continue to follow the aftermath of that devastating fire at York Memorial Collegiate. Thankfully, the historic 90-year-old building is salvageable, but students are heartbroken.
It started out so contained and small, and then we woke up in the morning and it was just way bigger than we expected.
Couldn't explain the emotions I felt. It was just crazy seeing it.
And it's just hard to see because just all those memories are in this building and they're all gone.
First, there was a fire Monday afternoon, then another one overnight Tuesday that took more than a day to extinguish. It's not clear if they're connected, but students who had to evacuate left their belongings behind. There's now a call for donations. If you can spare school supplies or laptops, you can bring them to nearby George Harvey Collegiate. Classes at both schools are canceled today and tomorrow as staff work on a plan for the rest of the school year. Crews have had to take down walls and clear debris at York Memo. A woman in her 90s is in critical condition, and an 84-year-old has serious injuries after a crash in Oakville. It happened around 8 last night near Bronte and Dundas. They were both in a car which had gotten stuck on a curb. The driver fell out of the open door while the passenger got out on her own. But the vehicle was still in reverse, dragging them both for a short time. They suffered head injuries. The car eventually hit the front steps of a nearby church. Halton police are investigating. Peel police are looking for your help in finding a senior who's been missing since Monday. 91-year-old Ettore Falcioni was last seen at a plaza in Dundas Street West at Arundel Station area in Mississauga. He's described as white, about 5'9", 190 pounds, blue eyes with gray short hair. He was last seen wearing a black windbreaker jacket with red or orange colored trim with the words Bucks Wrestling written on it. He speaks Italian and minimal English. He's believed to be driving a 2015 blue Honda Civic with Ontario license plates ALLJ341. If you have any information, contact Peel Police. To world news next. Let's be honest, we all make typos sometimes, but they don't usually get printed 46 million times. That's exactly what happened down under. A rather embarrassing spelling mistake found on the new $50 Australian banknotes. The word responsibility is misspelled several times as responsibility, missing that last I before the T. The note went into circulation back in October and was billed as state-of-the-art with new security features. Australia's central bank says it's aware of the error, but they are still using it as legal tender. The lawyer for the high-ranking Huawei executive fighting extradition to the U.S. suggests President Trump's own comments prove the case is politically motivated. Meng Wanzhou is wanted in the U.S. on fraud charges, but she remains free on bail in Vancouver. Her lawyer claims recent comments from Trump suggest that she's being used as a pawn in the ongoing trade war between the U.S. and China. It could take years for a decision on that extradition request.